Good morning, everyone. Today I am going to talk about who's your frenemy, okay? And we all have a frenemy, and I'm not talking about those girls from high school or anything like that. I am talking about your ego, okay? Your ego is both your friend and your foe, okay? And it's the ego is this pesky little frenemy, which is why I titled this live "Who's Your Frenemy," right? So here is why your ego is your frenemy. And so we have different parts of our mind, okay? We have our conscious mind, right? Which is like your ego and your executive functioning. We have our subconscious mind, which is where all of your feelings are and all of your experiences. Then we have the unconscious mind, okay? So, look at this. Look what I got. I got one of these this past weekend. And then I got my third hole pierced again. It was very exciting. I went with my daughter and she got her second holes pierced. And I noticed I have like dribbles on my sweatshirt because I just had to put like whatever I have to put on there. Anyway, a little distracted. So here's the deal. Okay, so your ego, your subconscious mind, all right, when we are born, we are in our subconscious mind all of the time. And as a reminder, your subconscious is, you're in it 90% of the day. Okay. It is where your feelings live. It is where your dreams live. It's where your creativity is. It's where your spiritual connection is. It's where all of your beliefs and your behaviors live. It's all of your body functions, like your blood flowing and your heart beating. Like you don't actually have to think about doing that, right? And so that is your subconscious. And when you were born, you're in your subconscious 100% of the time. I see I have a bunch of viewers. If you're here, come on and say hi so I know who you are. And if not, that's cool too. And so we're in there 100% of the time. And what it is like, I always like to explain it as like, it's like a sponge, okay? And so it is taking in everything, every positive experience, every negative experience, like the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? It's also taking in like all of the sounds around you. Like it's taking in all of the peripheral things that you see. Like you could be focusing on one thing, but it's basically like this huge energetic sponge that takes in all the stuff, right? And like I said, good and bad and ugly as well, right? So what happens is around 7 years old, your little child self is like, shit, I can't keep taking everything in all of the time. And so I'm going to create some defense mechanisms, right? To protect me and to keep me safe. That is when that ego is created, okay? And so your ego is created to protect you and keep you safe. It is a survival mechanism. This is when your ego is your friend, okay? Where you're just like, oh, I don't feel safe, so I'm going to make a conclusion about myself and then decide how to behave, okay? It's all like you're not conscious that you're doing this. It's just how your mind is developing, okay? Total survival mechanism. Pretty cool, right? It's awesome until it's not, okay? And then what starts to happen is that you rely on these defense mechanisms your entire life, and you're not even conscious that you're doing this, okay? And so it is working for you until one day it turns on you, okay? And that is when that ego becomes your frenemy, okay? Or that foe. And I am always seeing things symbolically. So let's like put on our little imagination hats or whatever. And so what happens, imagination hats, what happens is like the next thing we know, we are like behind this huge brick wall. Okay. Like, so imagine like a big, huge brick wall, or like a tower made out of bricks, or like I'm thinking of Game of Thrones and like the wall. You guys are there any Game of Thrones fans out there? You know the wall that I'm talking about. Like, that is made of ice, but just imagine that it is made out of bricks, okay? And so what happens is every brick in the wall is another protective barrier, another ego defense, okay? And so with every negative experience, we are literally putting another brick in that wall, okay? And it's just protecting us and protecting us and protecting us and protecting us. And then when you're a grown up, you're just like, oh, fuck, like, how did I get behind this wall? Like, shit. And now I'm kind of, you know, stuck with all of my essentially issues, right? And that is when you start to take a deeper look at yourself, because you're like, okay, now I'm like totally imprisoned behind this wall and I can't get beyond myself, okay? And you know, this is where you hire a therapist or a coach or whatever, and or go like do all, you know, your self-growth journey essentially, right? And so the goal is to not completely demolish that wall, because think about it. Like, think about if all of a sudden you had no defense mechanisms left and you were just like, you would, I mean, I know, speaking for myself, I'd be kind of obliterated, right? So like, the goal is not to obliterate that wall, but to look at each brick and go, do I need that? Like, do I need to intellectualize everything? Do I need to control everything? Do I need to rationalize everything? Do I need to not date anybody because I'm scared to be vulnerable? Like, all of these little behaviors that have worked that no longer work for you is what I'm talking about, right? So we want to look at these bricks individually and be like, okay, do we need this? And then you're like, okay, well, I don't really think I need this anymore. And it's like, okay, let's chuck it to the side, right? Clearly through processing, right? And like doing your own personal work. And then, okay, well, how about this brick? Do we need this brick? And then you're like, yeah, actually, yeah, I think I still need that one. It's like, okay, cool, right? So what you're starting to do is learning to have new behaviors and new beliefs about yourself, and having this awareness that you get to choose the bricks that you need and the bricks that you don't need, okay? So eventually, again, we're not obliterating the whole wall, but we want that wall to be like, again, symbolic site here, like one of those like really pretty walls that you might see like in the English countryside, like in those pictures, right? And so we want to have the wall low enough that you could like sit on the wall, or you could like be behind the wall, or like you could hop over the wall, and so that you're not being imprisoned by these unhealthy ego defenses, which are represented by this frenemy wall. Okay? And so, you know, we want to be able to enjoy that view and enjoy that life, and know that some bricks we might have for our entire life, and then others we could release and create new, healthier mechanisms to get through life. Okay? So that is why your ego is your frenemy. So I would love to hear from you and see if this resonates with you, and drop it below. And that's all I have for this week. Happy Monday. If you're seeing this in an email, happy Wednesday. And I'll see you on the flip side. Mwah. Bye.